Yeah, so I work at the CU Outdoor program, opposite of nature, like a air-conditioned room probably. Yeah, we have all of our gear back here, but it's a pretty secluded spot. I think one of those things that the total opposite of nature to me is like a computer screensaver that has nature. What makes me so mad is seeing people run on a treadmill when it's like 65 to 70 degrees out and it's a gorgeous Boulder day. The opposite of nature is like just that entrapment of pretending that
that you're in nature.
yeah, that you're in nature. It's like, oh, this is soothing, but really you're just like trapped in a cubicle or something.
Yeah,
and
that's
like
cool.
kind of faking it.
Uh-huh.
So I'd say my outdoor experience started as a kid backpacking. My uncle used to be a North Face climber, and he's like one of the early pioneers of like the Northwest climbing. So I've climbed with him. He lives in Seattle now, and yeah, he taught me just like basic stuff. Like I'd go on hikes with him, and he would tell me like yield to the people coming uphill.
Yeah.
And so that's just like something that's always stuck with me.
Uh-huh.
Basic survival skills, like I know like a storm's coming, I shouldn't be up on this summit, I need to get down. But it's also one of those things that I think is unique about nature and just getting out and doing it more, is that you kind of pick it up on your own. It helped to foster me, I think, having parents and a family that was like really into that and supportive. If you like grow up in New York City, you might not have the typical like Alaskan nature that people think of when they say the word nature, but you still have plenty of stuff. Like I grew up in like a rural area, and so nature when I was 6 years old was running around the park and like climbing trees. So nature, I think, kind of has a different definition for everyone, and finding that nature obviously takes place outside, but it's about just getting outside and finding it.
Yeah. Have you ever like encountered someone who doesn't see nature how you
One example I can think of is my sister. She's not a very big outdoorsman, and she does like to go hiking, but I think she kind of does it for like the Instagram. Social media, I think, is one of those things that, like if you post a photo, like on Facebook, I see all these posts of Lookout Gulch or Lost Lookout on Flagstaff.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God, that's so beautiful, it's so great. And it's like, well, you drove your car up there and walked 100 feet. I think the intentions aspect of why you're doing that gets really messed up with social media. It's like, are you doing this so Inu Hammocks will post your photo on Instagram and you'll get 500 likes or however many is a lot? Or are you doing it because you actually want to be out there? So I think, so I read Into the Wild when I was really young, and I really, really liked it.
Yeah,
and
Chris McCandless.
Yeah, Chris McCandless and like Alexander Supertramp, same guy. But I read that, and I don't know, that was one of those books that my uncle gave me, and I was like really kind of influenced by it, which I'm sure like a lot of outdoorsmen are. I really like him because of his intentions of why he was doing it. But I'd say for the most part, like I remember watching Everest for the first time and thinking like, oh wow, that was really intense. But then also remembering like it's not that intense. It's the movies. This is Hollywood making it way more intense than it is. Yeah, and I think movies don't really show that there's a lot more that goes into nature than what they put out. And like Aaron Ralston, the guy who got trapped in 127 hours, they made it seem like he was just this dumb guy when really he was like the first guy to summit all the Colorado 14ers in winter. So he's like a really experienced mountaineer.
Yeah, and then just...
Yeah, and it's like a freak incident. Say I feel just kind of like everything else slips away almost. Like I don't have to worry about the stresses of everyday life. When I'm out there, it's kind of like you versus nature. It's not always that intense, obviously. But so I'd say when I close my eyes, I imagine like a pretty flat, clear lake with a big mountain behind it.
Okay.
And I'm like just coming out of tree line, coming up on the lake, huge mountain. Sunrise is coming up, or it's been up for a little while, so there's like that cool glow. And I'd say I'm with a group of like 2 or 3 other people.